Okay, what are the best AI stocks in the future, 25 through 2027, so that we know where to invest to duplicate what was the best AI stocks from 2022 through 2024, and that would be Nvidia. And we saw a growth in price on an Nvidia of roughly 1,422% in that period of time. So if we can say, okay, that's our model, now let's find a stock that is going to duplicate or imitate that growth pattern over the next couple years. And I think you can do it if you'll look at what is their current PE ratio, what is their PEG ratio, and a PEG ratio is their projected growth of earnings divided into their current PE ratio, and we can come up with what stock is undervalued based on its growth in earnings. And then we need to determine that, we need to determine what are their future growth in earnings. So I used Nvidia as my model. And what I found was that Nvidia had earnings per share in 2023 of 18 cents, and their earnings per share going forward is $2.56. So that's where I came up with the growth factor of 1,422%. So what I have to do now is find a stock that is projecting its earnings growth to imitate that of Nvidia. And so I went to my 40 stocks that I'm tracking, and I created a chart based on their earnings per share growth, their PEG ratio, and again, a PEG ratio is the PE ratio divided by their earnings per share projected growth, and come up with a number on that. Now, what you're going to see is the lower the number for the PEG ratio, the better growth factor that we have. And then I'm going to show you the PE ratio as well. As I said, I do this for 42 stocks. I picked the 17 that I think are of most interest so that you and I can look at them. And here is what I came up with. They're alphabetical. As you can see, the first column is earnings per share growth. And what will leap out to you is UCTT. And it has a projected earnings growth over the next 2 years of 3,480%. That's roughly 2.5 times what Nvidia's growth was projected to be, or was, over from 2023 through, or 2022 through 2023. So it is on pace to outdo Nvidia. Then you see the next high one is AMD at 853%, then followed by Vertiv, which is 148% earnings per share growth over the next 2 years. And that's followed by Nvidia at 137. Now, I didn't feel that was enough information to pick my top 4 stocks. So what I also wanted to see, what is their PEG ratio? What this will tell me is this growth already factored into the current price. And the lower the number, the less likely that the future price is already factored into the current growth. And so we can see the lowest on here is SMCI. It has a PEG ratio of 0.31, and then the next one on that is ACMR. It has a 0.42. Now let's compare that to Nvidia. Nvidia is a 1.23. The higher it is, the more probability that the future growth is already factored into the price. So Nvidia is saying that is already factored into the price. And then you can look at the PE ratio to see how those numbers relate. And as you can see, ACMR has a 0.42 and a current PE ratio of 8.49, whereas Nvidia's current PE ratio is 46.8. So what I come away from this saying, my best stock is AMD with a projected growth in earnings of 853% over the next 3 years, with a PEG ratio of 0.98, meaning that is not priced into its current price, and a PE ratio of 41.3. My next is Micron Technology, which is showing a 52% growth in earnings projected over the next 2 years, with a PEG ratio of 0.21, meaning that that growth is not factored into its current price, and a current PE ratio of 10.97, which reflects that fact that it is not, their growth is not factored into their current price. And then my next one is Ultra Clean, UCTT, with a PE ratio of a PEG ratio of 1.01 and a PE ratio of 27.8. And then my final is SMCI, which is projecting a growth in earnings of 47%, a PEG ratio of 0.31, which says it is not factored into the current price, although I've noticed the price of SMCI is up today, but it has at this videoing, it had a PE ratio of 12.4. And those who I feel their growth, future growth, is already factored into their price is Nvidia, Vertiv, and ServiceNow. So that's how I look at stocks. I don't get hung up on interest rates and geopolitical events. I want to look at the numbers. Now, what I will do on each one of these stocks is then ask Samantha to go and review their earnings statements and any articles that are currently available and give me a verbal summation of what the stock is doing relative to its projected growth. And that's on my cheat sheet. Let me take you to my cheat sheet. As it is now, it's going to change by January the 1st. We're updating it to make it more concise and easier for you to interpret, and I will do a tutorial on it to help you understand it. But what I want you to understand is take all the fluff out of it and just look at the numbers. And I think you would probably not be considering that your best investment opportunities, for my interpretation, for 2025 through 2027 are Advanced Micro Devices, Micron Technology, Ultra Clean, and Supermicro Computer. And it looks like they've got their put back together. Okay, I'm Kerry Grinkmeyer. I want you to have access to this information that I've put together. I'm a retired financial advisor. I put all this together on my cheat sheet. And as I say, my cheat sheet is driven by AI. I want to make this available to you at a reasonable price. To put this together for you, I spend roughly $22,000 per month. I don't want to charge you $22,000 a month. I want to charge you $19.95. And to prove to you that it's worth that, I want to give you a 14-day free trial. So come to the website, bestofusinvestors.com, follow the link in the description, and that'll give you access to my cheat sheet where I go into 42 stocks like this. And what I want to share with you is the cost that I'm going to spend. It will double in the next 6 months. I expect to be spending $50,000 a month to make this available to you by this time next year. And why is that? Because I'm going to pump more and more AI into it. So it's not limited to the 42 stocks that I can follow manually. No, it's going to be limited to the 6,500 stocks that are available on the U.S. exchanges, and that Samantha and Brad will be able to feed that information to you on a day-to-day basis to give you this kind of analysis. And then I will teach you how to interpret what Samantha and Brad are providing to you on a daily basis. Again, this will cost me, I'm estimating, some $50,000 a month. Okay? You make a decision if you want to do it on your own for 50 grand, and I'll teach you how to do it. or join our tribe, get on the wave, and put this kind of analysis into your decision making of how to invest. I think this is going to level the playing field with Wall Street, because we now will have the data to help us make better investment decisions than them. And why do I say better? Because we're going to have 10,000, maybe 1,000,000 people feeding us information that Samantha and Brad will analyze and then interpret and then present to you so you can make a better decision. Now, will the price of this go up? I don't know. I don't have an idea. I don't have a clear vision of what this data is going to cost me in the future. What I'm committed to do, and what Trent's committed to do, and what Mark's committed to do, is to make this available to you at a reasonable price so we can level the playing field and you can make better investment decisions and change your life and those who you love's lives in the future. Kerry Grinkmeyer, retired financial advisor. I hope this makes sense to you.